It may have been a new job or starting a new business. Maybe you were looking for a better place to raise a family. It's possible you were returning home to the place you love, to Idaho. Whatever your reason for coming, 40 years or 4 months ago, Lithia Ford of Boise wants you to know you're welcome here. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Welcome on in courtside here at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State wins this one 65-62. Get your questions in, your comments in. We'll get those on the screen here. We're going to see some highlights. We're going to hear from Leon Rice. We're going to hear from Abu Kijab, Tyson Degenhart. What a game. This game had it all, and Boise State has now won 13 games in a row. You had a fan, Matt Bauscher, ejected. We'll have the exclusive interview tomorrow on the Matt Bauscher show. Are we calling this the Matt Bauscher game? I guess you kind of can. Matt Bauscher gets ejected with Boise State losing 60-58, and then Boise State comes back and wins the game. Thank you, of course, to our sponsors, Lithia Ford of Boise. That next car truck you're looking, make it a Ford, Lithia Ford of Boise. You can check out their website. We appreciate rowpaint.com as well. Power and people, pride in painting, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Get the comments in, get the questions in. We'll get to them right away. Don Moe, this old heart is not sure it can take many more of these one-possession games. You had Eric Knowles coming in. What a game. Brent Chapman, it's bad business turning the ball over 14 times. Fans are fired up for this one as Boise State again wins this. You have Case and Briggs. Fans are into it. Hopefully we can fill the balcony soon. Yeah, great crowd tonight. It's announced as a season high. It was over 8,000. It was 8,200 something. I got my notes here somewhere. But Boise State, biggest crowd of the season. Hats off to the Corral student section. I thought they played really well tonight in terms of helping out with the crowd. 82-92 was the attendance, 82-92. And it was great, but I'm going to get greedy. I mean, it was great, but just to think what it could be like if the third deck was full, because it got loud in here at times. It was really loud in here. And if you just think about Boise State, what could be done if this place was completely full. And you hope the Utah State, the UNLV, and San Diego State, some of these games later in the season, Colorado State, you hope that's it, because can fill up a little more than it did now, because man, what a win for Boise State. 65-62, as I said. We got highlights. We'll hear from Coach Rice. We'll hear from some players. Appreciate Colin Mitchell as well, our associate reporter, for helping out behind the scenes, doing a great job tonight, getting the highlights put together. What a game. Degenhart playing huge. Rice with some big shots after Shaver goes down. Next man up with this team. How about that? I mean, you had Shaver in the second half going down. You had Armouche going down with 4 fouls, and you had a lot of guys just really step up. Jacob, watching on YouTube, says the crowd had a Power 5 vibe to it tonight. Imagine with the third deck. Totally agree. And now he's watching on YouTube. I will tell this to people. If you're watching at home and you get done watching the game at home, these pre- and post-game shows, you can just go to the YouTube app on your smart TV and watch this thing on your TV. I know that's what you want to do, see me full screen on your TV, but you can go ahead and do that after these games, and then you can not have to worry about watching on your phone, but you can watch on Facebook, you can watch on Twitter. But if you want to watch our post-game shows every game for the rest of the season, pre-game, post-game shows, you can do so on your smart TV if you just go to YouTube and then go to the Bronco Nation News YouTube page. So I got a question here about Shaver. How's Shaver doing? Saw a brace on his ankle at the time. Yeah, he came out in the second half, and he actually played the whole second half because Leon Rice said he didn't want to stiffen up on him. He was limping a little bit. He was okay, but he had a huge drive there where he drove the lane and scored. I thought that was a huge bucket for Boise State when he came back. And so he obviously wasn't his normal self, but it sounds like he just turned his ankle pretty badly. So he'll get 2 days of rest before the game Friday. Nathaniel chiming in, save a Bronco, ride a Cowboy. Hell of a win against a talented young Wyoming squad. Ryan giving me some credit. Think guilt tripping the fans on the Twitter timeline worked perfectly. Yeah, I'll take credit for that. There was even a fan that had a sign for me that said BJ Rains is sassy. And so I guess I'll take that as a compliment. We'll see. But the fans were definitely into it. Mike chiming in. Big game. Lost my voice. The refs suck. Team is awesome. Love seeing the ability to finish games, not crumble like in years past. These guys just stare adversity in the face. Keep getting those comments in. True team win tonight. Go Broncos. Eric chiming in here. Kejab and Armis 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Rice and Degenhardt 4 of 8. Who would have thunk? Yeah, those 2 misses from Rice gave Wyoming a chance for that final 3. We'll see that in the highlights here in just a minute. But yeah, it was. I thought our Moose played pretty well and hit some buckets, but Kejab won the game there at the end. We'll show it in the highlights. With Boise State trailing by 2, Kejab hit posts up. And that was right after the 3-pointer that Wyoming hit, and they got fouled. That's when Matt Bauscher got ejected by Vern Harris. There was about 2.5 minutes to go when that happened, 2:46, and then Kejab posts up his guy, ties the game. He said after the game, "I knew I was scoring," and we'll hear from him as well. He tied the game, and then he hit 2 free throws to put him up 62-60 with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Then he comes back, hits 1 of 2 with 48.2 seconds left. That puts him up 63-60, and then again with 27.8, he gets a rebound, makes 2 free throws to go up 65-60. So Abu Kejab had a heck of a game. Let's go ahead and show some of the highlights here. We'll get to your comments as well. I don't think he actually took his shirt off. By the way, about Matt Bauscher, I think that was a joke on social media. I don't think Matt Bauscher pulled a Antonio Brown and was stripping on the way out of the building. I didn't see that. I do have footage that will show of Matt Bauscher getting ejected. Jay saying, is Wyoming really that good? That's our best win. Great win there. Brandon saying Deggy going for his 5th Mountain West Freshman of the Week. I do think, that's right. That's a good point to say. Kejab drew the charge as well. That is a good point. He had 2 big rebounds, took the charge, hit the buckets late. Abu Kejab really kind of single-handedly willed them to this win down the stretch. I think Wyoming's still a good team. They actually moved up more at KenPom than Boise State did. How about that? Boise State only went up 1 spot to number 40 at KenPom. Wyoming went up to 54, and I think they were 61 coming in the game. So who would have thought Wyoming moves up more by losing on the road at Boise State? But that's 13 wins in a row. Boise State now 16-4 overall, 7-0 in the Mountain West. And I think they're a win at Fresno State away from potentially being in the top 25. I mean, I know they only got a couple votes this week, but if they go beat Fresno State on the road on Friday night, I think it's going to be hard for a voter to leave Boise State out of the top 25 at this point. And they will go for the school record 14th straight win on Friday in Fresno. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this one put together by the great Colin Mitchell. We appreciate Armouche got the offensive rebound there and scored. That was a big play in the game. Armouche getting the offensive rebound and scoring. And here he is again, just posterizing the Wyoming defender, Mladen Armouche scoring. Here's the replay. Great play by Mladen Armouche there. Really got the crowd going. He was fired up as well. We're moved to the beginning of the second half here, and Armouche does it again with the dunk. He posted him up there a little later in the game here. That was a big spot in the game. Najee Smith, great pass by Kejab. And then here's the final play. 2 seconds left. They ran a play. Nice play to get him open. The 3-point misses, and Boise State hangs on for the win. The crowd fired up. The fans fired up. Boise State 65, Wyoming 62. And again, as Boise State wins, and obviously the crowd was fired up from this one. Clint saying, wow, getting into the top 25 would be amazing. You have Jake saying win on Friday. They deserve to be ranked 22nd. I don't think that's crazy to say at this point. Pretty good turnout. We can do better. Yeah, again, a little over 8,000 was the announced attendance for this one. I mean, you're going to have 14 wins in a row, and you'll have 4 or 5 straight wins over pretty good KenPom teams. That'd be 4 straight wins over teams in the top 75 at KenPom. During the win streak, they've beaten 6 top 100 teams at KenPom. That's not counting Nevada at 108. I mean, I think this is certainly a team that's not only going top 25 worthy, but putting themselves in a position where they're not even going to be on the bubble. I mean, I know Leon Rice did not want to talk about that today. He said, we're not going there. He cut off the reporter during the question. He said, we're not talking about the tournament. We're talking about Fresno. And so they're not going to get caught up in this. They're not going to let themselves, get caught up in the whole tournament thing. But I think Boise State, with each win here, is starting to. They're 16-4, and they were 3-4. I mean, that's just crazy to think about. 3-4 for this team. Brandon saying, with that inbound play have taken place right in front of Bauscher if he was still in attendance. Yep, Matt Bauscher would have been standing right there. That's the spot he got ejected from. We can go ahead and show that now. Why not? Here's Matt Bauscher. He got ejected. Here comes forgot to tell him. He starts clapping, trying to fire up the crowd. The crowd's booing, but they're also cheering at Bauscher. They're booing, and then they start cheering. They're making noise. Here he is firing up the crowd again. Boise State at this point was losing. He's slapping people 5 on the way out the door. He's firing people up. Again, Matt Bauscher, a former Boise State player. He is a booster, a donator to this university, and he gets ejected by Vern Harris. But he had some fun. Nathaniel saying, Matt Bauscher, what a legend. Kurt saying, why did they throw him out? Well, guess what? We're going to find out tomorrow on the Matt Bauscher Show. Matt Bauscher has a weekly show here on Bronco Nation News, so we will have an exclusive interview, and we will find out tomorrow from Matt Bauscher. I believe we're doing it at 12:30, but we'll find out. I'll tweet out the time later. But Matt Bauscher will be joining us tomorrow live here on the show, and we will get the exact reason on why he did get kicked out. Vern has thin skin. Vern Harris, one of the officials. A nice compliment here. Appreciate that, Casons. Appreciates what we're doing, and hope folks do enjoy the show here. Consider a subscription, maybe $70 gets you a full year of coverage, or $6.99 a month if you want to go the monthly route. So do appreciate everybody for checking us out. We have pre and post game shows for every game, home and road. I'll be making the trip to Fresno on Friday for this one as well, and Robbie says a win on Friday, and they should get us inside the top 25. Again, they should and will are two different things, but I agree. 14 in a row would be a school record, and it would be a heck of a week because you get about 6 days off before you go to Wyoming next Thursday. If they could go one more, just finish off this last road game. I mean, Fresno is going to be really tough. Remember, that was a tie game with like 4 minutes left later on December 28th before Marcus Shaver Jr. hit 2 huge shots in that game. So, he high-fived the security guard on the way out. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they wanted to kick him out, but once the referee said, you're gone, you're gone. So BJ, John, and Matt are the goats of Boise. We need you 3 to all be on a call and talk about this season. Yeah, we will appreciate that. That's nice. Mike saying the refs were weak tonight. Matt fighting the good fight. The sacrifice wasn't in vain. Bulldog Grill, yes. If I get there in time, I'm trying to eat healthier, but the Bulldog Grill is a must in Fresno. The tri-tip sandwich there is unbelievable if you ever go to Fresno. Seeing if we missed any of the comments here. Wyoming, 31 in net, weren't they? Why in the 60s on Ken Palm? Ken Palm is more predictive of what it's going to look like at the end of the season. The net is more right now. So I think actually Ken Palm is still a little more on the side of like reflecting what with some of the advanced metrics and stuff. They're both good, but I think right now I respect Ken Palm a little bit more, but certainly the net is what actually matters for the quad 1 rankings and all that kind of stuff. So this was technically a quad 2. The net doesn't update till overnight, so we'll find out tomorrow what that says. For Boise to beat Wyoming with the foul trouble they endured, the injury to Shaver proves this team is resilient. And don't forget, they got to go right back to Wyoming next week, so that's certainly going to be a tough game for Boise State having to go back to Wyoming. And man, Graham Ike, 19 points. Let's see what he finished with. Rebound-wise, 9 rebounds, 19 points. Boise State really had no answer for him down in the post once Malad Narmouche got his foul trouble, but it didn't really, he didn't score a bucket in the last 10 minutes of the game. I don't know if they just went away from him or what happened, but he had 19 with like 10 minutes left, and I'm tweeting we might be going towards a Nemish Keita game where they just couldn't stop him and he gets 30 plus. And for whatever reason, he never scored in the last 9 minutes of the game. And foul trouble was big. Kejab ended up fouling out, but the game did seem to change once Malad Narmouche picked up that 4th foul. So I thought that was big. Nate saying, love this team. Hopefully we can finish strong, avoid a late season collapse like the past few seasons. Love these transfers like Kejab. I mean, Nate, I don't see anything here why you would think that's coming at this point. Some teams, all teams lose games eventually, and they're not going to win every game the rest of the season. They're going to win, but this just doesn't seem like this just seems like a different team. This doesn't seem like a team where you're going to need Derek Olsen Jr. to go score 30 points. And if he has an off night and goes 3 of 15, they're going to lose. They don't have that on this team. They have, Degenhart can go get you 14. Kejap can get you 18. Armouche, has 8 and 5 tonight. But I mean, it could be Acott. It could be, Shaver only had 5 points in this game. You just beat Wyoming with Emmanuel Acott, Marcus Shaver combining for 10 points. I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about this team and what its potential is moving forward. Chad saying he loved the energy in the building tonight. It's just going to keep going. Let's hear a little bit from the players. Abu Kejab and Tyson Degenhart spoke with the media after the game. Let's hear a little bit from them.
Well, obviously crazy game. You get up, they come back with the 3 there, but you posted the guy up, tied the game, and you hit the free throws, put you guys ahead. I mean, just how big was that finish for you?
Big finish. We was going to come down defense and rebound and just hitting those free throws at the end, and we did a good job of that.
I know you're a guy that late in games actually likes taking those big free throws, it seems like.
I do.
What about, too, just posting that guy up and when you guys were down and they had all the momentum and wanted to try to tie the game there?
I knew I was going to score on him. We work on that stuff every single day. I knew if I took my time, I was going to get a good shot, so that's what happened.
Coach Rice really values defensive rebounds, and you got 2 of the last ones and also got fouled on it. How important was it to you to get that, get under the basket and get this?
Definitely. They have size, a lot of size, Wyoming, so we had to really be on our stuff on the defensive glass. And, it's my job to rebound, so I got to go out there and do that at a high level every day.
You guys have been so good in the final 2.5 minutes of a lot of these games. What is the consistency, or what is leading to you guys being able to do this game after game where you're on the ropes and you guys continue to deliver the final blows?
We've been in so many close games this year and the past year, and we have such a tight roster. And, those guys, all of them make winning plays, and they'll do whatever it takes at the end of the game. So just got to give a shout-out to those guys.
Tyson, would you mind just kind of elaborating on that too? And how fun is it, how confident are you guys in these circumstances where you're down a couple, whatever, it doesn't matter, it seems?
We're super confident when it comes down to the wire. On this win streak we've been in a lot of close games. We've found a way to win, and we just continue to do that each and every night. We just trust each other and make the right plays and get stops on defense.
Boo, what you think of the crowd tonight?
Great crowd. I loved it. They brought the energy. They got us really going. We need that every time. I loved it.
With Milan getting in foul trouble, you guys, Graham was giving you guys some fits there early in the second half, and then you put the kid on him who plays way older, as you guys continue to say. To see him take that responsibility and that assignment and do what he did.
Man, he's a beast. You should see him pushing weight in the weight room. I had full confidence in Daggy. We knew he was going to do a great job on Ike, and he did. So got to give credit to him. And he's been putting in the work throughout the summer and throughout the season. He deserves to have those moments, and he's going to be successful all the time.
Do you realize, some of the stuff that you're doing? That was a heck of an assignment. You guys had to do something with him at that point.
We just had to find a way to stop him. He was pretty effective in the first half, and at the start of the second, we just had to find a way to stop him, make him less effective, and that's what we did.
What do you think was the biggest factor? Here's a team that, they like to score 90, and they do often. They average about 80. You guys keep them to, 62? That's not the style they want to play in. How are you able to make them play your style tonight?
I think it starts on the defensive end. They like to shoot a lot of threes, and we held them to 6, and that was our goal to keep them under. That's a big part of their offense. When you stack threes, it adds up pretty quick, and we didn't allow them to do that tonight.
How about your boy Shaver? Looked like he was limping around there. I don't know what happened. It looked like they put another brace on him. It looked like a nasty little ankle twist, and I don't even know if he came out in the second half, right? That's got to give you guys a boost, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Every guy on the team, has little nagging injuries, and it's up to us to just fight through those and just keep pushing because it's a long season. We just gotta keep going.
And we almost had a perfect show, but I was muted there for a couple seconds. I have moved to the back room as my laptop's about to die, so I've relocated. Hopefully the Wi-Fi signal still sounding okay, but appreciate Abu Kijab and Tyson Degenhart for meeting with the media. Chad chiming in, holding them to 6 threes. Love the Broncos defense. Denise saying, agree, no superstar on this team, just great chemistry. Kurt saying, glad Coach Rice didn't get a T, could have been a game changer. Yeah, he was pretty upset with some of the fouls. Both coaches were, but there was no T other than the Matt Boucher called in this game. Maldonado tried to win it on his own in the last 10 minutes, stopped including Ike. Worked out well for us. I said that on the way out. It's nice to have a bench that can score as well. Holding them to 6 threes was the difference. Eric saying, loved watching Acott and Kijab deny Maldonado in the first half. Definitely frustrated him. Yeah, in the first half, Wyoming was only 1 of 4 from 3-point range. And then in the second half, they did hit a couple, but they only finished with 6 threes, and they make over 9 a game on average. So, that was a key spot in the game. Logan Dominguez chiming in on YouTube. And again, if you watch this on YouTube, you can watch full screen on your TV, so you don't have to worry about watching it on your phone. If you just go on your smart TV to the YouTube app, Make sure you subscribe to the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel, and then you can just watch this live on your TV after the games. Logan wondering why Linder waited so long to take the final timeout. Why not earlier and call a play? Interesting decision for them to only get one shot at the buzzer to send it to OT. Yeah, I mean, some coaches, Leon Rice didn't call a timeout in the last couple of games. You don't want to give the defense a chance to set up. Don't want to let them talk about potentially fouling. And so he wasn't going to call a timeout. He was going to let them go. But once he realized, okay, we don't have a play, this is going to be a 30-foot heave at the buzzer, might as well call timeout and try to set something up. I certainly think that's, possible scenario where you call the timeout earlier, but they didn't, and obviously it worked out, okay for Boise State, and that's. Let's hear from Leon Rice, the Boise State victorious head coach. He spoke with the media. Coach Rice, keep getting your comments in. We'll get to him after Coach Rice, but let's hear a couple minutes of the Boise State coach, Leon Rice, after the Broncos again win 65-62. They've now won 13 in a row to tie a school record. Here's Coach Leon Rice after the game.
To see them come back, and obviously it was an energetic crowd and some close calls, and they hit the three and take the lead. But for Abu to come down and tie it with that post up and then hit the clutch free throw, what's that say about him?
Yeah, it's huge, and 13 for 18 from the free throw line, 72%. Would like to see the last two go, but we'll have a talk about that. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to another guy. I can't do that to him. No, it was. These guys are amazing, and Shave turned his ankle pretty bad, and I didn't even think we'd have him for the second half, to be honest. And he's like, I can go, and I didn't even want to sub him because I didn't want him to go sit and get stiff. And man, that was courageous by him. We battled foul trouble. We battled, just stuff adversity that's thrown at you in a game. And we battled a really, really good team. And, Leonard does a great job. They're hard to guard. And, they can shoot it so well that those post players, they're on their own down there a little bit. Because if you choose to commit two guys, they're elite at moving the ball and getting it to those shooters. And so, that's but I'm so proud of the guys, the way we just keep battling and then somehow find ways.
Abu's performance down the stretch offensively was commendable, but the two defensive boards that draw fouls to take that charge.
Yeah.
What did you think about that defensive
Huge. And the charge was big play, and that was a great job. He just held his ground, took it on the chest, and that was legit, great play. But he made big play after big play down the stretch, and he is a great second half player. And the more tired everybody gets, the better Abu gets, I think. And but there's so many things that happened, and it was such a. I think I saw how many lead changes, 13 lead changes in this game, and this league, I've been in it for a long time, and we've had some elite years, where we got 4 or 5 teams in. I don't remember a year where everybody is just, there is no nights off, none. You have to play a B or above game or you're not winning. And you have to play with great, there's, you guys have seen them all. It's just a battle down to the last 2 minutes. And, we've been fortunate to make some plays in the last 2 minutes, make our free throws and, find a way to get it done. But like I said, it's holy cow, from all 11 teams in this league are fighting, and they have great players, great coaches, and I think it might be the best top to bottom I've seen it.
The last 2.5 minutes, you guys have really thrived. It seems in closing out these games. Kind of starts with continuing stops on the defensive end, which
right.
gives you an opportunity. But how have you guys been able to do this? Attitude, effort, what is it?
Yeah, attitude, experience, and then it builds on itself when you have experience in a lot of these games. In our huddles, there was nobody in there that we were. What happens with athletes and coaches is you get a little frustrated with maybe a mistake that was made or a missed shot, and we have a great way of just forgetting about it. So what? Let's go figure it out. And their response to the first 38 minutes is just impeccable. And that's why we're able to get these close ones done. And a credit to these guys. They just keep finding ways. And, out of all the qualities you can choose, that's the greatest one, is to be able to, finish it and make those clutch plays like we have both on offense and defense.
Leon, what did you think of the crowd tonight?
Oh, it was great. The energy of it was awesome. I thought everybody gave everything they had. Guys were given the crowd gave a lot tonight. The crowd was terrific. Guys were getting thrown out and doing all they could to help this team, and proud of that.
I was going to ask you, can we call this the Matt Busher game?
Yes, this is officially I didn't even know that it happened. I didn't see it. But, yeah, I don't know what I can say legally about that. I don't want to get thrown out myself, so I can't say anything. It's probably, if Vern did it, it's probably a good play. But
Leon, I noticed, you guys weren't doubling EK right from the get, and you talked about it. Like the rest of the league, that's just kind of how they had to defend these guys. I don't know if it's out of necessity. Why was it not out of necessity for you guys? How are you guys kind of able to pull this off and get them out of their comfort zone and scoring a margin that they're not comfortable with at low 60s?
Terrific player, and he's so good down there. His feet are great, his hands are great, and he's got a ball that goes in. He's a tough guard, and we guard him just enough. He still gets 20 and 10, almost 19 and 9, and he does his damage down there. He's just a heck of a player.
He didn't score.
Well, there he is, Coach Leon Rice, talking after the game. Boise State wins this one, made it back courtside here. I think our plug situation is resolved, and we're going to be good enough to finish this thing up. A couple interesting stats. Boise State actually lost the rebounding battle in this one, 30-27 to Wyoming. Again, Tyson Degenhardt, 14 and 4. You had Abu Kijab, 18 points, 5 assists for him. Boise State makes 8 of 25 from three-point range. Wyoming only makes 6 of 16. Wyoming shoots 46.7% for the game. Boise State only shoots 42.3% for the game. So Boise State actually gets outshot and out-rebounded and wins the game. What's that say about this team? You can get outshot and out-rebounded and win the game. Some more comments, questions, keep getting them in here on the Lithia Florida Boise postgame show, sponsored by Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, all of our great sponsors, and we appreciate them and appreciate you for watching. And again, hope if you like what you see, you'll consider a subscription to BroncoNationNews.com. $70 gets you a whole year, and or you can go $6.99 a month, but the yearly rate gives you 2 months free, so that would be the way to go. Helps with our travel funds, our travel costs and stuff to get out to Fresno and to keep making this a full-time job for me if we can pull this off. So we would appreciate folks for, if they like what they see, to jump on board and help support this venture. Seth asking about a minutes adjustment. Rice and Kuzmanovic. Kuz played well in the first half. Max Rice finished with 1933. I'm wondering, because he didn't play much in the second half. I don't have the second score. Maybe I do here somewhere, the second half box score. Max Rice in the second half. Well, that's first half box score. Let's see if we can get a second half only. I'm going to guess it wasn't very much. Yeah, 6:35. He only played 6:35. Kuzmanovic for the game only got 3 minutes. So, no, I don't think it'll be much. You saw Max Rice hit a 3. I still think he did some positive things out there. The most impressive thing was 5 shots. He actually took 5 shots. He's only been taking 1 or 2 shots a game up until this point. So, to see him play with a little more confidence and take some more shots, I think is big for him moving forward. Nathaniel saying Boise State just 3-5 in Fresno since joining the Mountain West. Last win at Fresno was during the 2019-2020 season. Yeah, they didn't play there last year. They played in Boise for those 2 games. So they have won their last game in Fresno. Ryan Moser, 4 years ago, I remember Leon saying how hard it is to win in Fresno, and they're always empty arena, hoping the guys bring their energy. They're playing better, and they're actually getting better crowds. So, I saw they were doing something for $5 tickets for this game. So it wouldn't shock me if they get a better crowd. This was an interesting one. Thoughts on Rice not pulling Armouche immediately with 3 fouls. Yeah, he picked up his 3rd foul and his 4th foul in the span of 5 seconds. And that was not good for Boise State because that did change the game when he went out of the game. And so, it was so quick. He just probably would have done a possession or 2 and then took him out, but it didn't even have time to get a guy subbed in. And the next thing you know, he's got 4 fouls and he sat out for a good chunk of the second half. That really did change the game. Najee Smith coming in, had some gargantuan threes. That was amazing. Yeah, he shoots the ball a little odd. He doesn't have the smoothest shot out there, the way he kind of flips the ball up there. but it goes in a lot of times and so he had a couple big rebounds, a couple big dunk, but he did hit a couple huge 3-pointers. JD looks like he must have been at the game. Yeah, JD Price, I think I met you recently. Appreciate that, sir, for you coming up to press row and saying hello. Fun game to watch live. It was a lot of fun tonight. It really was a lot of fun. You had the bigger crowd than we've had this season, 8,200 season high crowd. The 2 lower decks were pretty much full. You had a lot of open seats, and of course the whole issue with the student seating blocking off every other row. But I mean, the bottom 2 levels were pretty full. That second level was pretty full, and you got to wonder moving forward here. You got a Saturday game against San Jose. You got a weekend Friday night game against UNLV. You got, I think, Utah State's on a Saturday. You got to wonder if they're going to be able to get that third deck open because you would think that they deserve that at this point. Eric saying ended up with a 30-foot heave at the buzzer. Anyway, that is pretty funny, actually. Yeah, they did call timeout, set up a play. It was actually a nice play, but it was a pretty long contested 3-pointer at the buzzer there. Dad is disappointed. Yeah, of all the guys that Leon can, yell at the most, it's probably his son, for missing those 2 free throws, which would have made the end of the game not matter. That was, I think, 11.0 seconds left at that point. Kurt saying they need to let all the students all together. Yeah, I'm still not sure, and I'm trying to work on that, like what the reasoning is. I don't really understand why they're doing that, where they're having the different levels of student. The student section is every other row, and yet the rest of the stadium they're filling every seat. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Not sure why they're doing that, and I'm trying to work into that. But as I said earlier on social media, they haven't gotten to a point where that matters. You haven't used all the student seats they have, so I don't know what it would matter if at this point fill the seats you have and then worry about it. But it is kind of odd that they're blocking off every other row and yet not doing that in the rest of the stadium. So we'll have to look at that and see moving forward. But again, I thought the Corral, I was a little critical of them on social media. They showed up tonight. They were probably the best they've been this season. They were into the game. They were I still wish they'd stand. You had a couple on the right side stand, but for the most part, you had the students kind of sitting there. I mean, most places I go, Utah State, San Diego State, I mean, they stand the whole game. So you'd like to see the students maybe be a little more into the game, stand up the whole game. But overall, I thought that they did a pretty good job tonight based on what it's been. Yeah, what'd you think, guys? Nick Duncan was on the commentary for the game. What did you think of that? Nick Duncan on the commentary. How did he do on the call? I got a lot of good comments I saw on social media. Bailey saying there were a lot of students up in the second deck. No, there were. The second deck was full and it was curving around to the sides. It was pretty impressive. But again, if every row wasn't blocked off, all those students could have been down in the lower bowl. So I think that's and how about this? We had a celebrity in attendance, it looks like. Not Logan Byler, but Bachmeyer. Hank Bachmeyer sitting in front of them. So that's pretty cool to see. Question or a comment about Degenhardt. He's a stud on the court before anyone else shooting threes. Saw him make 16 in a row. Must have shot 150 threes all around the arc. Well, there's a reason that he's doing pretty good in the games. Kaysen coming in. I think Rice plays well for the most part. Everything but shooting has improved. I would say this is defense. Max Rice's defense is much improved from last year. I think his defense is no longer a negative, and it's a reason to keep him out on the court. So I think his defense has been a positive for this team in the end. And again, just a huge win for Boise State. We'll show the highlights again for folks that jumped in late. You had Milad and Armouche get the offensive board, go back up and score and get fouled. That really brought the crowd into kind of a frenzy at that point in the game. And then Armouche wasn't done. Takes the ball there in transition, throws down the dunk. Milad Armouche was huge in this game for Boise State with his ability to in the post. If he hadn't gotten the foul trouble, I think he would have had potentially a much bigger game. Here he is again early in the second half. 3 straight dunks. Milad Armouche in the highlights there. He had a great game. Nice pass from Kijab. Finds Najee Smith for the dunk there. Great pass there. And then the final play. There's the 3. There's the pass. And again, yeah, deep 3-pointer from the logo, the Mountain West logo. Misses, and Boise State wins the game. 13 wins in a row for Boise State. 65-62 is the final. And again, that's 13 wins in a row for Boise State. Jacob saying, I'm not that guy to say the refs are paid or ruin the game, but there was some ticky-tack fouls at the end that made the game interesting for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, it was a weirdly officiated game. I'm not that, blame the refs guy either, but I thought there were some weird calls. And then, to call a ticky-tack one on Abu Kijab out at the top of the key, that let them score 2 points to get back into the game. There was a couple of weird calls, Jacob. I agree with that. Appreciate it, the comment there, because I agree. Jay saying he liked listening to the Aussie on the call. He did great. Yeah, I thought Nick Duncan, we had him live on the pregame show before the game, and he was fired up to be doing the game, and good for him to get a little more of a national audience with Stadium broadcasting the game. The game Friday, by the way, is Fox Sports 1, but it's not till 9 p.m. Boise time. 9 p.m. Boise time, Fox Sports 1 against Fresno State. Mike saying, hope we can get another big guy like him in the future. Solid big is something this team has been missing for a long time. Yeah, I mean, he's Armouche has been great, but the problem is there isn't a lot of depth behind him. When he gets out there, he's great, but when he gets into foul trouble, it certainly is something that can, hurt Boise State at times because they just don't have an answer. And they went to Ike just pretty much immediately after he went out, and Boise State had no answer there for a while. Kaysen saying, I think the refs realized they were being one-sided and made up for it near the end. Logan Byler chiming in. Seems like whenever we're on a drive, it's shut down by a foul call. A couple offensive fouls, a couple charges. There were there just seemed like the whistle. There was a little more ticky-tack stuff on the Boise State end, and then they weren't calling as much on the other end when Boise State had the ball. But again, who cares? Boise State won. It was a little bit one side of the final totals were 19-17. Wyoming actually got called for more fouls than Boise State did in the game. And then the free throws were 19-18. So in the end, you're probably right. It did probably even up a little bit. Eric saying it was he was so physical in the first half. Sure seemed like he was initiating the contact, but the calls were going against us. Yeah, he was kind of lower in the shoulder a little bit as he was posting up. And that's something that obviously it was hard for the officials. Both guys were doing it. Emmanuel Acott was posting up his guy. That's obviously a tough thing to officiate when a guy's posting up. And what do you do? And if you stand your ground, though, that's a new rule that they implemented this year. Is you don't have to fall down for it to be a charge. If you've got your ground, the guy's not supposed to be able to just back you down. But for whatever reason, most of the time they end up calling the contact on the defensive player in that case. Ryan asking if Leon Rice will hit the transfer portal for recruiting again this offseason. Are we good on transfers? It wouldn't shock me. I mean, they got to do something. I think Armouche is going to be gone. Keyjab is definitely gone. He's out of eligibility. I think it wouldn't shock me if Acott was gone. Marcus Shaver, I think, is the wild card. I think there's a chance he comes back just to kind of be the guy next year and help his stats for the league. And maybe Acott sees an opportunity to do the same thing. He didn't really do much last year. If he could have another full year, but he's also a little bit of an older player, but I know he does want to play overseas or in the NBA. So maybe you have Acott and Shaver back and you lose obviously Armouche and Keyjab. So there's going to be some spots on the roster. They have not signed any high school players yet for the class next year. So there's going to be some openings for sure. I know they're still doing some recruiting of some high school guys, but I think at this point with how many guys transfer, you just save some roster spots and you see what happens in April. I mean, now that the guys don't have to sit out a year, I think that's a game changer in terms of what it means for the transfer portal and guys being available later than maybe usual. If you did miss Matt Boucher getting ejected, we'll show that again as well. Matt Boucher asked by Cody Gogler and security to leave. He claps right at the official, Vern Harris, then he starts firing up the crowd. The fans were a combination of booing at the ref and cheering for Matt Boucher as he got ejected, but he tries to fire up the crowd, slapping people 5 on his way out. And they had 4 or 5 security people have to come try to remove him as he left the building. But again, Matt Boucher will join us tomorrow on the Matt Boucher Show. And so we'll get the exclusive interview on what happened with him. Kaysen saying 3 solid red-shirted players. They feel pretty good about R.J. Keene, Burke Smith as well, big kid, 6'11", and then you have Kobe Young. I know they really like. So, they feel pretty good about those young guys, but they're going to have to do something to add to the roster if they lose a couple of guys as well. If Armouche gets in foul trouble versus Fresno State, there might be a problem with Orlando Robinson. He's an NBA caliber player. Yeah, Orlando Robinson might be a first-round pick. Ken Palm's got him in the top 5 for National Player of the Year race at this point. He's a very, very impressive 6'10", 6'11" center, and he takes a lot of their shots. He can shoot from the outside. He can post up. So, yes, if you saw what happened tonight with Graham Ike when he got into foul trouble, if, it could be worse if, Boise State gets Armouche in foul trouble against Orlando Robinson. So, that is something to watch on Friday, and we'll preview that. Mike Prater is going to join me, I believe, Thursday. We got Matt Boucher tomorrow, so tons of live shows coming here to Bronco Nation News. Gregory Myers interested in hearing why Matt got kicked out. And yes, they do. Whiting, They've got Whiting on a missionary. He'll be coming back as well. He's an Idaho kid, I believe, Trent Whiting. So, we'll that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, again, tomorrow, I believe it's Jay saying can't wait for tomorrow's show. I believe we're going to do it at noon or 12:30. I got to check on that with Matt in the morning. Could be earlier. Just check my Twitter feed, check the Bronco Nation News social media channels. And if you miss it, it'll be archived at bronconationnews.com under the videos tab later tomorrow. Matt Bauscher giving us the live answer as to why he got ejected from the game yesterday. So this is by far our longest post-game show, 40 minutes here as we break down this game. We've got 70 plus people still watching this after 40 minutes. So appreciate you guys for checking this out. Appreciate, again, Colin Mitchell for getting the highlights ready, for helping out behind the scenes. He's doing a great job as our associate reporter. Aside from stealing my microphone and having to pay $25 to ship it back after the San Diego State game, he hasn't really done anything wrong in his time working for me. So appreciate him, though. He's done a great job. Appreciate you guys for checking us out here. Again, impressive. And if we have any more comments or questions, we can keep it going. If not, we'll end it. But Kurt saying thanks again. Again, Lithia, Florida, Boise, Idaho Central Credit Union, two of our great sponsors. Hope you'll check out ICCU.com for all your banking needs from Idaho Central Credit Union. Your next car or truck, Lithia, Florida, Boise. They're the official car and truck of the Broncos. Hope you'll check them out. And, of course, none of this would be possible at Bronco Nation News without our title sponsor, rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company at Boise State Athletics. Power in people, pride in painting. So hope you will take advantage of some of the great offers they have right now for the concrete coatings. Chad chiming in, great show. Appreciate that, Chad. Thank you. And, again, I'll give one more shameless plug. $70 gets you a full year of subscription, or you can get $6.99 a month, and you can help support our venture here. I know these social media shows are technically free, but we've got to pay for the travel and some of the other things going on out there. So hope you'll like what you see. And we are bringing exclusive content to Bronco Nation News as well. So Eric, appreciate you for saying that. Kaysen chiming in, good work, go get some sleep. I still got to write a full story after this, so that won't be happening anytime soon. Mike saying the following is growing, doing solid work, BJ and Colin. 2 L's in Colin. Come on, Mike, get it right. All joking aside, appreciate that. And again, appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Again, if you subscribe, appreciate it, Chad. Chad says he's a subscriber. We appreciate that, Chad, very much. And again, just as a tip, if you would please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of our live shows, all of our videos go to the YouTube channel. You can get notified when we're live. Friday night at Fresno, you can watch the game on Fox Sports 1 and then flip over on your smart TV to the YouTube app, go to the Bronco Nation News channel, and it's very easy to find us, and you can watch this post-game show live on your TV after the game. So we're looking to expand this network. Got a lot going on in terms of shows and things we want to do moving forward. But again, Matt Bauscher will join us tomorrow, and then we'll have Mike Prater joining us, I believe, Thursday for his weekly visit. Appreciate you. See you on tomorrow's show. Appreciate that, Robbie. Thank you. Thanks for the tip about YouTube. Just follow it on there. Yeah, just go to the YouTube channel, follow us on there. Then you don't have to stay on your phone. You can be on your phone tweeting or texting or whatever and watch it on your TV full screen after the games. That's an easier way to do it. Be back Friday. Might have to subscribe. Would appreciate that, Jacob. Would really appreciate that if you do, and give us a shot here, and we'll hopefully continue to bring some great Boise State content moving forward. Again, BroncoNationNews.com. We got the message boards, the forums on there. You can go chat with other Boise State fans about this game, about all things Boise State moving forward. Howard chiming in again. Way to step up, Najee Smith. Yep, he was great. So we'll talk to you tomorrow with Matt Bauscher. We'll talk to you Thursday with Mike Prater, and then we'll talk to you Friday from Fresno live at the Save Mart Center there. After I get that tri-tip sandwich at the Bulldog Grill, we'll be ready to go for a late night, 9 p.m. tip-off Mountain Time. Fox Sports 1, a big one in Fresno as Boise State goes for a school record 14th straight win, and we'll be there to cover it. Appreciate everybody for checking this out. By far our best post-game show I think that we've done, and it helps when the team's winning. So thanks to Colin Mitchell, thanks to you guys, thanks to our great sponsors, and we will talk to you soon. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.
ICCU. To make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face. An open ear. A helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union. Looking after your daily balance.
It may have been a new job or starting a new business. Maybe you were looking for a better place to raise a family.
It's possible you are returning home to the place you love, to Idaho. Whatever your reason for coming, 40 years or 4 months ago, Lithia Ford of Boise wants you to know you're welcome here. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.